Hello there my friends, welcome to my another video. Last week we finished building this tiny 1 to 72nd scale tiger gruppe Fehrmann from Dragon and also some figures for it. So in this video I decided I will make a little vignette for these figures and the tiger because I think they deserve it. Also, I am sorry about my voice, but I am kinda a sick little man, so I am going to sound really bad. Anyway, I picked up a block of styrofoam that I am going to use for the base. It is not the best looking piece of styrofoam, I admit, but it was the best I had. I will try my best to find better, well, to buy better styrofoam for my next diorama, since they won't come all that soon, so for now we will have to do with this. I kinda just make a plan in my head of how this diorama should look by placing the stuff on it, and then I start carving out the road with my hobby knife. I decided, since this is just going to be a easy vignette with no you know, over the top details, it's just going to be a really deep muddy road that dried up with the tank on the road, the tank crewman standing next to the tank, and those two soldiers bringing food because they are carrying food. Anyway, I wanted to make the groundwork out of air drying clay, and I had the same problem as Night Shift did. The clay didn't stick to the surface because it was too smooth. So first I tried just cutting the surface with my knife, perhaps that would create enough grip, but it did not. So I watched Night Shift's video where he had the same problem, and the solution was rather easy. I only applied some PVA glue under the clay and I used it to basically glue the clay onto the surface. This also softened the clay, so it was easier to manipulate and create shapes with. I sculpted all of the road and all of the ground with it. Some roots are in the middle of the ground and on the side, representing the mud pushed out by the tracks and the passing traffic. Now this is going to be a pretty calm diorama because that's what I like. You could make a comparison with Night Shift again. I really enjoy dioramas that do not show soldiers as soldiers fighting and doing stuff, but show soldiers more in the humane way, because they are still just humans with, uniforms. So for the future as well, I really enjoy making dioramas really calm and just, collected. And this is what this diorama is. It's just soldiers bringing food to the tank crew. Anyway, after the clay has dried, I am going to use the Viejo environment thick mud to create some more texture. Now, I'm not going to do the same thing I did with my Zetor diorama, where I covered everything with this clay. I only cover some parts with the clay, mainly the roots and also some of the groundwork, just to create that rocky texture, because this clay has some rocks and sand in it, which, creates the texture, right? I spread this around with a brush, and seeing as this is an acrylic product, I blend it together with some water. Don't worry about the clay shining through underneath, because I didn't cover everything. I am going to paint it. Now this is technically my second diorama, but I did learn some new stuff that I would like to implement on it, and hopefully my next diorama will also feature more detail like trees and buildings, because I haven't done that yet and I probably should by now. Anyway, I painted the entire diorama in the flat brown color from Viejo. This is the base color that I am then going to attach more effects to. Seeing as all of these products are acrylic, I am going to dry them with a hairdryer. Now the foam could create some dangerous fumes, but thankfully it did not, but I did still wear a mask just to be safe. And then I dry brush all of the groundwork with some buff color just to pick up all of the details. These details were then covered up again, but with some additional effects it did end up looking rather nice. Now, if you were doing a bigger diorama, you would probably pick out rocks and stuff with different colors and, you know, by themselves. I didn't want to take too much time with this diorama, so I would be able to release it in a week. Then again, I will try, you know, working on future dioramas a little bit more, because I don't feel like I put enough effort into this one. Now I applied the buff color where I would assume the tank would cross, considering the tank is covered in buff color as the weathering. I want to have the ground have the same weathering as the tank for obvious reasons, because the tank is weathered because of the ground, so I weather it with the same colors and stuff. I can blend it with tap water because it's just acrylic, and it created this really nice, I would say, dusty look. So I am going to say this is a dry ground, at least for now. I decided to pick out all of the deeper details with an acrylic wash. I used the same brown wash as on the tank, not for weathering reasons or something, it's just, you know, brown and the ground is brown, so I felt like it would be better than using a grey you know, wash, and it did end up looking rather nice, I would say, but it did darken down the groundwork quite a lot. So what I did was then I dry brushed it yet again with the buff color, because the wash covered the first layer of buff. So if you're following this as some kind of tutorial, I would maybe not do the first buff color dry brush just to save yourself some time, but if you feel like some is, well, enough is showing through the wash, then you could definitely do it. I mean, I am not making tutorials, I am still very much learning, but I am happy that you are all on this learning curve with me. Anyway, then I applied the grass. Now I still haven't bought myself a static grass applicator because they cost a lot and I don't have money. I would rather buy a camera, right? So I am going to apply the same way as on the Zetor diorama, which isn't the most realistic, but it is what it is. I applied the glue onto the ground and then I spread it around with a brush. Now perhaps I could have just made a little clumps of glue that would have maybe looked a little more realistic, but I felt like this looked pretty good, so I applied the glue in the middle of the road and also on the sides just to differentiate, and then I applied the grass straight from the peg hitch. Now I know there are applicators that aren't like electrical, they are just like little bottles, and I tried buying that one, but no one has it in stock, so right now I'm just waiting for it to be restocked and I will buy it immediately once I can, but you know, please bear with me on this. Anyway, I tapped the grass off and I think the diorama looked basically finished. So, you know, I added some clutter just to make it a little interesting, and I painted the sides black. And then I just glued the soldiers on with super glue. I didn't glue the tank on because I just don't like the idea of having my tank statically on the ground, but the soldiers wouldn't stand by themselves, so soldiers had to be glued. Anyway, thank you so much for watching this 3-part journey of this tiger. Please let me know if you like this more parts video format, because it is better for me as a non-working teenage guy to buy one model a month and split it into several videos than trying to buy you know, a model every week just so I can make a video, because I would not physically be able to do that. So, you know, at least it allows me to create more in-depth videos for you. I am planning several dioramas into the future, some civil ones. I am really excited for that one, but it's going to cost me a fucking limb because of how expensive resin models are, and I am going to need resin models. And then some other diorama that's also pretty common, because I like all dioramas. So if you would like to see these dioramas and more models, because more models are of course coming, I would ask you to subscribe to my channel, hit the notification button so you are notified about these videos, and like it so I can see that people actually enjoy these videos, because I've seen a little rise in my viewer count, which makes me really happy and makes me motivated to make more videos. So thank you for watching again. Share this video with someone if you would like. If not, take care, and I will see you in the next model video. Goodbye.